What is going on, Juju Gang? I hope everyone's doing well. Let's talk about a little ratio I took today from none other than Elon himself. Now, you probably have already heard about this, kind of traveling everywhere about Elon and his compensation plan and talks about that. At first, I'm just going to go into the recap of what actually happened, what my reading is into this. I mean, it's pretty apparent where Elon stands on this issue. And then a general few couple takeaways I think what it means for Tesla investors and where Elon's head's at, because I think there's a number of different ways you can take this. And I've seen a million replies. I mean, my phone almost just about blew up today. I was actually in a meeting, lunch meeting. I come out of lunch and I look at my phone. I'm like, why is my phone just totally bombarded with what's happening? And then it dawned upon me that Elon actually replied to my tweet. So let's get into that. And I also want to talk about what I think everyone is missing here, and then my general thoughts to end the video. Hit like, hit subscribe if you're new. If you enjoy the content, if you like me getting ratioed. Now, look, I quote tweeted Jacob Hilton. Shout out Jacob. He has a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to him too. Talks about Tesla. Talk about Elon and Tesla shares, and if we should talk about a new compensation plan. Now, a new compensation plan is not new news. I didn't bring it up out of nowhere. It's been kind of the topic du jour for the last little bit. And I said, look, it's the right take, meaning Elon should maybe not get a compensation plan. Elon owns approximately 411 million shares of Tesla. Is that not incentive enough for the company to do well for years to come? Now, of course, he can potentially own more than this if he exercises his options. And then I said his 100 billion today turns into a trillion if Tesla surpasses Saudi Aramco and Apple. Why the need for another comp plan? For the record, if the board brings something forward, I wouldn't be opposed. I'm just confused. And so I got a million replies to this. I mean, not a million considering what I got after Elon replied, but I got a lot of replies to this. And to be fair, I was quite open-minded. I was going back and forth. I was being really engaging with different points of views because I was just genuinely confused as to why for the need for the compensation plan. So I came in here this morning, 5:29 a.m. Pacific time. Your boy's for some reason tweeting. I really need a life sometimes. So I said, okay, look, after reading all your arguments I'm starting to see the other side. It seems like the consensus way for Elon or for us to retain Elon at Tesla may be to have new incentives. Though I don't fully understand it, as he already has so many shares, I can see the argument why those shares have already been priced in for his past work. Now, if the tranches to unlock money were every 500 billion from a 1.5 trillion to 10 trillion, I think that would suffice to align incentives. Thoughts? Really just wanted to keep it open dialogue, right? And I was happy to kind of eat crow on my initial point because I didn't understand it. And to be fair, even in this post, I said, I don't fully yet get it, but I'm starting to see the other side. So Elon comes out of nowhere with the RKO, right? Right around 12:55 p.m. Pacific time, Elon gets this sweet reply to me. Elon says, I am uncomfortable growing Tesla to be a leader in AI and robotics without having 25% voting control. Hold on to this because this will be important moving forward. Enough to be influential, but not so much that I can't be overturned. Unless that's the case, I would prefer to build products outside of Tesla. Wow. You don't seem to understand, and this is talking to me, shout out this, you don't seem to understand that Tesla is not one startup, but a dozen. Simply look at the delta between what Tesla does and GM. For the record, I just want to clarify, I have a video out that Tesla is an ETF. Go watch that. I mean, I literally talk about, that video is like 3 years old. I should probably redo it. Anyways, as for stock ownership itself being enough motivation, Fidelity and other own similar stakes to me. Why don't they show up for work? So that argument that I'm putting forward that Elon already owns enough shares, he's saying, well, if that's the argument, then why don't they show up for work? Which I thought was fair. So I replied to this, I should say first. I'll be honest, I didn't even consider the existential AI risk from bad actors considering your diminishing streak, but you're completely right. In the 15 hours since I've posted this, the discourse on X has shifted my perspective as noted in my reply before. To be fair, it was never from a perspective of Elon already has enough. It was more of a, will this really motivate Elon considering how much he already owns? By the way, I was getting a lot of comments that I was a communist. I think that's hilarious. And if anyone watching this thinks I'm a communist, God bless you. Could not be further from the truth. But I see your perspective, and retaining you and more importantly, your interest at Tesla, and this doesn't mean stockholder share interest, I mean his actual mental interest at Tesla should be the top priority for any Tesla investor. Also, I have to throw in a joke. GM has led the EV revolution. Not sure of what delta you speak of. So me and my boy are on good terms, I guess. He laughed at my joke. So there's that. Then he came back and he said, yeah, you haven't had enough of a ratio. How's this one? He said, I should note the Tesla board is great. The reason for no new compensation plan in quotes is that we're still waiting for a decision in my Delaware compensation case, the trial that was held in 2022, but no verdict yet. I put quotation marks around it because from my standpoint, this is primarily about ensuring the right amount of voting influence at Tesla. If I have 25%, it means I'm influential. It can be overridden if twice as many shareholders vote against me versus 4. At 15 or lower, 4 against ratio to override me takes a takeover of dubious interest too easy. I would be fine with dual class voting structure to achieve this. Hold on to that piece right there as well. But I am told this is impossible considering to achieve post-IPO. And this is really important, and we're going to talk about dual class voting structure in a second. But first, let me go back to talk about this point that I opened your loop on earlier. I said, look, Elon says he wants 25% voting control. Notice how he didn't say he wants 25% ownership. And now, if you're a pessimist, you could look at that if you're cynical and say, yeah, that's just key for give me more money. And now, though I would be inclined to believe that, Elon's further tweet to Sawyer clarifies that for me. He goes on to say, again, if dual class can be done, I'm all for it. Dual class meaning, if you look at, for example, Google has 2 classes of public stocks out there, right? Google and Goog both have different structures on voting and compensation. And here's the thing. There's we don't have to get into the nitty gritty weeds of this, but if you have a dual class structure, for example, like Zoom or I think Square even, there's certain like you can't get into the S&P 500, for example, with certain structure of companies. And so that presents a problem. And especially if you, of course, do it post IPO, which apparently Elon says you can't do it all. He goes on to say that Zuckerberg, could have done it or had 20 plus generations of control, but it's fine pre-IPO, but now it's not even possible. So there might be some sort of legal way that they get around this, kind of maybe how Google did it. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to look into that. But this to me doesn't strike as a money thing as much as it strikes about really an ownership control thing. And so it's kind of worrying, of course, if you look at this as a Tesla investor, you go, hold on, Elon's uncomfortable growing Tesla to be a leader in AI and robotics without having control. I mean, if you just read that at the surface, you start to worry, right? You look at you kind of read into that as much as it says. You say, whoa, hold on. If I buy Tesla, I'm buying Tesla because Tesla is this leader in AI and robotics. But hold on, if Elon's hesitant to even make sure that's the case, what does that mean for me? And so if you look at XAI, it's a direct corollary to this story, of course, with Tesla, because Elon is propping up XAI. He's building up XAI because he cares about AI and the existential risk that may be from AI. And if you look at that, do you look at XAI if you're a board member on Tesla and go, hold on, this is a credible threat in terms of competition for us on Elon? Look, Elon is the straw that stirs the drink at Tesla. I don't care what you think. At the end of the day, I know Tesla would operate, and we can have this debate maybe in a second about how well it would operate after, but it would operate. But Elon is the straw that stirs the drink. There's probably a good percentage of people watching this right now that only invest in Tesla because Elon's a part of it. If you're one of those people, let me know in the comments. And so the other argument here is, look, if Elon wanted to have full voting control or that much control, why did he sell the shares in the first place? Why did he want to buy X? Why did he have to do this? And I think it's a fair argument to say, if Elon really wanted to maintain control on Tesla no matter what, why did he bother selling or buying X? Now, of course, that gets into the debate of, it's his money. At the end of the day, if I go to the corner store, I buy a piece of gum, it's probably the same equivalent for Elon buying X, but, that's kind of his money. So I'm not sure how much say we should even get into something like that. Now, we don't have to get into the whole free speech debate here. And so the bull side argument I'm seeing in the comments is, look, if FSD is close and Elon knows it, or bots are close and Elon knows it, and there's a new bot video today that we can take a look at, would he not want to really push for a compensation plan prior to this happening? Look, if FSD at any level driverless happens in terms of a fleet commercialization anytime soon, you probably think market cap jumps up on that news, right? For V12 is just around the corner. We know this. If that's close and Elon's looking at that and saying we're really close to solving this, would it not make sense for him to push for the compensation prior to that? Now, I'm not putting words in Elon's mouth, because he goes on to even say, look, I'm only talking about this because everyone's bringing it up. And of course, on his other tweet, he even said that he's only brought it up, compensation plan, because, the only reason there isn't one is because we're still waiting for a decision on the compensation case. But that's the bull side of it. And so you can kind of read into this both ways. And if you're a bear and you're going, hold on, if Elon's talking about, he's kind of threatening and saying, look, if I don't get control, I'm out. That doesn't sound good either. So all that to say is you can read into this how you kind of want, but Elon's laying down how he feels publicly for all of us to see. Now, again, you can have a debate on if that's a good look, but I at least appreciate where his head's at. And I'm not just saying that because he replied to me. Honestly, at least I know where his head's at with everything. He wants 25% control, not because he wants 25% ownership per se, but the control allows him to have more of a stake into where the AI might be heading. And if what we saw with Sam Altman and OpenAI is any indication of where stuff can go, even though you're killing it with AI, I think Elon looks at that and goes, okay, I got to tread carefully with my moves and have the legal protection or the recourse to be able to dictate what happens and when. I mean, look at Sam Altman, right? And so what does this mean for Tesla talent is a big question to me. And what I mean by that is, if you are Elon and you own XAI, you own SpaceX, you own Tesla, Boring Company, Neuralink, I mean, it's common knowledge that a lot of talent is shared amongst those companies. And if Elon, let's say, his stake gets lower and lower through dilution, over time he leaves, let's say, what happens to that kind of talent overlay that a lot of Tesla investors enjoy, to be able to recruit talent for Tesla or SpaceX and be able to share that talent, that world-class engineering talent, whatever it might be, robotics talent, to be able to come in on one company or one vertical and be able to be malleable, portable to another. What happens to talent there should Elon not get what he wants here? Now, let's go back to the debate of what happens to Tesla if Elon leaves. Look, I think the auto business is the auto business. It's just a matter of execution, laying down bricks to build buildings, getting factory lines up and running and scaled, getting new gigafactories built, Giga Mexico. And then I think the 4680 architecture and scaling that continually with all the dry battery electrode at scale that needs to be done for this to really come to fruition, to the 20 million cars that Tesla has set out to a goal in 2030. Look, it's no joke. I mean, Elon doesn't make these goals just so he can, sit on a beach and drink Mai Tais, right? I think we know that much. You could have done that post PayPal if you really wanted to. He does this because that's how he is built as an entrepreneur. He's built with a person that has really tough, ambitious goals. And without them, he kind of dreads probably. And he looks at this and he goes, I'm working for free. So again, Elon is the straw that stirs the drink at Tesla. By no means am I arguing that Elon should not be CEO. In fact, actually, the main reason I said in my initial tweet was that if the board brings something forward, I wouldn't be opposed. I'm just confused, was because I know the utmost importance is making sure that Elon stays at Tesla, despite his politics. And we can have a million minutes worth of a debate on a live stream one day about how much politics Elon talks about, or if that's good or that's bad for the brand. I know that's been topic du jour this weekend as well. But that aside, I mean, the guy is literally working his butt off across all these different companies. I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever started a company, but it takes a lot of work. And not only that, he's running 4 or 5, 6 companies altogether, and trying to execute at a level where I don't really think anyone on planet Earth really has. And that's quite fitting considering Starship. So all that to say is I appreciate the insight that we got from Elon today, albeit it was slightly at my expense, and that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like It's not like it's bad. Oh, by the way, this tweet also adds good context. Tesla owner Silicon Valley asking, have you had any conversations with the Tesla board about new comp, or is it on hold? He said, waiting for the case to be decided. So maybe any month now we get a decision on the board, or pardon me, with this case, and then the board can come to Tesla or to Elon. Freudian slip. I just called Elon Tesla. There you go. That's how interlatched they are to me. But it's interesting nonetheless. I want to hear your comments. So sorry for the diatribe. Sorry for the long-winded video, but I think it's important to just get the thoughts out of where everything's sitting at, and where this goes. I don't know. It seems like a lot of people have interest in it. And I would love to get your thoughts as to where you think this goes ahead. Hit subscribe on your way out. Hit like. Leave me a comment like I said. I'll catch you later, Juju Gang. Thanks for everyone for supporting the channel. Patreon.com/hit that bid if you want to join us on Discord. Remember, only bring the good juju in there. And I'll catch you the next one or in a live stream one morning. Hit the bell for that. Much love. Yash signing off. Peace.